have Kevin McCarthy here, the former Speaker of the House. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir, to weigh in on this race with us and give us some insight into what we're seeing on the ground here in Tennessee. It is awfully close. I mean, the most recent polling shows it's like a 2% gap. I want to get your thoughts on why it's so close and what you make of these candidates.
This is not an unusual situation when you have a special election. Usually the party out of power has greater intensity. Remember, elections are decided by who shows up. This has been a wake-up call for Republicans, and I think the Democrats have done the Republicans a favor. They brought Kamala Harris in to campaign. Republicans said, oh my gosh, because this is the election is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I'm shocked that the Democrats would nominate somebody such a radical and towards the socialist wing of the party trying to win a conservative seat here. So yes, it is closer. People are spending more money because they're trying to drive turnout because it's not on a normal election day. It's a special election. But look, I put a great deal of trust in Richard Hudson, the chairman of the NRCC. He knows how to win races, and he rang the bell early to warn people about this, and he's been doing a good job.
Yeah, you make a great point there. I covered a pretty remarkable special election in Massachusetts more than 10 years ago when Scott Brown, the Republican, won there and really sort of captured the imagination of Republicans in blue districts all over the nation. And this scenario is one where it just seems the Republican would have a good chance of being ahead. And this one in particular, Van Epps, a West Point graduate, a combat veteran. And then you have Bain, who has really struggled to answer direct questions, particularly about some of her past statements about what she said about Nashville and also her stance on defunding the police. Take a look.
So you don't want to clarify whether you still believe that the police should be defunded?
Once again, I don't remember these tweets, but what I'm saying is that
I'm not asking you if you remember. What is your position today? How's that on this issue?
I mean, once again, I'm here to talk about my race, which is in literally 9 days, and talking about affordability, which seems to be the #1 issue across the district.
All right, shifting back to affordability, perhaps not a bad strategy. It seems to be the buzzword of the day, the week, the month, and the most recent Mamdani victory as well. Your thoughts on the way she's handling this?
This wouldn't even be close if this was a normal election on a normal year. A candidate like this that's so far left couldn't win if those policies had time to bring it out. Because it's a special election, people aren't paying attention. Because it's around Thanksgiving, people aren't paying attention. Remember, that was MSN asking her whether she still wanted to defund the police, and she wouldn't answer. The Republicans in Matt has an exceptional candidate. He's an extraordinary individual, West Point candidate, a person who serves. This is just a unique situation that it's a special election. That's why we're trying to get everybody all the attention possible with the knowledge of the background. I think if the voters really knew the background of both candidates, it wouldn't even be a close race. So we're trying to get the attention out, get every Republican and Independent and Democrats that care about America on how it's going to move forward and the policies to make sure you vote December 2nd.
All right, all eyes on Tennessee's 7th district. Quickly now to Indiana on this issue. This is about redistricting. The president, and this is something that really could very well matter down the road as we get closer to the midterms. This is sort of a broader issue. But on redistricting, the president wants to see redistricting in Indiana. The GOP leadership there, though, isn't so sure that they've got the numbers to make the changes that they want to happen. Your thoughts on what you're seeing play out in Indiana?
Well, the Senate Republican leader there said he didn't have the votes, but recently came forward and said they're going to meet early December. So we'll know, I think, about December 8th, whether it's going to move forward or not with redistricting. We watched what the Democrats had done in California, where they are now picking the candidates and who the voters are to be instead of the voters being able to select that, where 96% are all going to be Democrats, which I think is a detriment to California itself. It's an unfair advantage in that perspective. And I mean, the voters aren't having a say in the election. So we'll see where Indiana goes. Prior they said they didn't have the votes, but now by scheduling and coming back in a special time period, it looks as though they may have the votes.
All right, they are working hard all over the nation. We shall see what happens as we inch closer to the midterms. Greatly appreciate your insights, your presence here.